Lawrinson has published more than 15 books for children and young people, from a picture book to books for older teenagers, and in 2024 published a memoir called How to Avoid a Happy Life. Her books have been recognised in the Children's Book Council Awards, the WA Premier's Book Awards, and the Queensland Literary Awards. And she is presented to schools across Australia, in Singapore, and in Bali. She is an enthusiastic adult learner of Indonesian, yoga, and the cello. Her favourite place on earth is the dog park. Wow. Welcome to the Hybrid Author Podcast, Julia.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're thrilled and honoured to have you. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll just pair right back before all of these absolute amazing accolades of how you came to be a writer.
I became a writer because I just always loved the written word. I was really, really shy as a child, which people find hard to believe now, but I was like really painfully shy. But I loved being able to communicate through words. So whether that was reading other people's words or writing poems or parodies of songs or diaries or whatever it was, I just loved everything about writing, just really excited me from a young age. So it was just something I really burningly wanted to do for reasons I'm still not really sure of, but it's carried me this through. I just have to accept it, I think.
Yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, you've been around for a long time and obviously written in different mediums and genres and things, but you've also done so much other stuff. But the writing, obviously, it will always remain. Yeah.
I mean, I was always very resistant to being told that I should get a day job, but in fact, it is actually necessary to have a day job if you're a writer in Australia. Apart from a few people, I think most of us have to be able to combine things.
Yeah, different things. That's it. Well, congratulations on being shortlisted for the 2025 WA Premier's Literary Award. How are you feeling about that?
Well, it's been amazing because this year they've taken a really different approach
Yeah.
to the awards. So they've done, they did a shortlisting author event and they've really promoted it. And there's been a really long lead in. And so it's because the shortlist, I mean, you're aware of how many amazing books are published in
Yeah.
Western Australia every single year. And I mean, the shortlist is exceptional. Like all the books in all the categories are amazing. And so it's been really nice for me because this is my first memoir,
Yeah.
probably my last memoir, I guess.
Surely not.
And so it's very different to publishing a children or young adult book. It's felt very much like my first book in some ways. And so one of the things that being shortlisted has done is introduced me to a whole pile of other writers that I didn't know
Yeah.
before, even though we're all in Perth. But I think the kids' writing scene is very tight and warm, and we do all know each other. So it's been nice to meet other writers writing different things. So yeah, so that's been an amazing opportunity to be able to do that. And it's frankly just thrilling. The awards are next week as we're recording this. And I kind of don't want the awards to happen. I just want to just be shortlisted.
Well, that's amazing for anybody who's listening who lives under a rock. Can you tell us about your memoir, How to Avoid a Happy Life, which is the category that you're shortlisted for?
Yeah, so it is a memoir, and you can tell from the title that I'm taking my own life a bit tongue in cheek because so the title, and I'll hold it up for the benefit of the video. So I loved the image that Fremantle Press came
Oh,
up
it's
with.
amazing.
When I looked at it, I said, "Oh, that's going down into a hole." And my publisher said, "Well, you could be climbing out of it." It's just about the odd collection of things that's happened to me over my life. It's also a bogans represent kind of story as well, because there's not very many working class people who write
Yeah.
at all and write memoirs. So I kind of wanted to show what life growing up in Kelmscott, Armdale, and Gossels is like, and traverses everything from, really difficult stuff to, I guess, more light-hearted,
Mm.
the
Yeah.
more light-hearted. But I tried to do it in an entertaining way.
Yeah, No, that's fantastic. And I mean, you've obviously you won awards with children's fiction and things in WA's Premier's Book Awards, and this being a non-fiction, how does this recognition, how does it differ from like your children's fiction to this, which is
Oh,
obviously writing is so personal and stuff. This memoir is extremely personal, so it's
yeah.
a bit of a difference.
It is really different. And it feels, I mean, it was such a weird thing to write about your own life. And then realizing, because when I wrote it, I wasn't really sure whether I was going to publish it or whether I was going to publish it in Australia or anything. And so having it published with Fremantle Press and then having people read it. And a friend of mine said, I feel like I've just rifled around in your undie drawer.
Yeah, yeah,
That's kind of what it felt like, but it is a very West Australian story. And so being shortlisted for the premiers for such a personal book and for something that I threw everything at, like I just wrote the best book I could possibly write and put everything into it. So to be shortlisted is just amazing.
yeah. No, that's great. And have you
And
had
it's a lovely
people? Oh,
recognition.
sorry. Have you had people reach out to you, like who've read it and sort of connect with your
Yeah,
experiences and life
yeah.
story?
I
Yeah.
mean, that has been the most amazing thing. And I think because, like I said, I know this probably sounds weird, but we're not very represented, like people who come from tougher backgrounds or working class backgrounds. And, growing up in Perth also doesn't really generally, it wasn't the most exciting place on earth to grow up. So I think a lot of people, and not just people that are from Western Australia either, but people that have read it all around the country it's really resonated with a lot of women in particular, and also some men, surprisingly, as well. So yeah, it's been really nice. And the fact that people have felt like they wanted to reach out has just been lovely.
Yeah. Oh no, that's fantastic. Well, we've got our fingers crossed, but we know that you're going to take it out. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it. It's just like,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, just to avoid the night. So that's
yeah.
fantastic. Well, as being as well as being an amazing author in your field, you're also embraced Stack as a platform for blogging, and you've got some great Substack articles that come out and things. So, what drew you to Substack, and how did you hear about it first, and how have you found writing on that compared to sort of just posting on social media and things?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it actually. I know I've noticed a bit of a shift, like some people going, oh, it's becoming a bit more, I don't know, commercial or whatever.
Yeah.
But because I tried Medium for a while, which I quite liked, except the bit about having to submit articles to editors who are also amateur editors in some cases. And it was just kind of, I didn't feel like I had control over my own work.
Yeah.
And on social media, it just feels very ephemeral. And I don't know, my social media is mostly for friends. I mean, I have lots of writing friends, obviously, but Substack, I don't know, I like that it gives you control.
Mm.
It has really nice options. So, so people who want to subscribe and pay can do that.
Yep.
But there's also the free options. And I also like all the other content that's on there. I think it's a medium that writers really like.
Mm.
And so there's really good quality stuff on there. And it does encourage, not super long articles,
Mm.
but just to go into a bit more depth about some things. So I'm still not great. Still am not sure about the notes and the other bits and pieces. So I've only just started doing that. So I don't feel like I quite know what I'm doing yet.
Yeah.
But I like the interactions that I have, and I like, yeah, I don't know, it just feels like a nice, warm community
Mm.
with some really interesting things going on there.
Yeah, that's great. I haven't explored it too much myself, and I know that some people, there's podcasts and stuff on there as well, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's
yeah.
really kind of becoming like a sharing platform or something.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It's not being overrun, is it? Like, how some things sort of start and then they take off and then it becomes absolutely massive. Is that? becoming the case,
I
or
think
not
some
sure?
people are concerned that that's where it's
Mm,
going. Look, I don't feel that way about it at the moment, but also I'm not a person who's going after, I think I've got 250 subscribers, which is
yeah.
just a nice amount
Yeah.
because I don't know. I think it must feel weird if you've got like thousands of
Mm,
people that
yeah.
you're writing to. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. For me, it works, and I guess it's easy to use, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I said, the main thing for me is feeling like I've got control over my material.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, that's fantastic. So, as we said, you've written for many different mediums and audiences and different forms. How have you found those shifts have challenged you or inspired you as a storyteller, from your children's fiction to your Substack to your non-fiction? Is there different aspects of your life that inspire your writing?
I think for me, all of my books, I think, are very different. And for me, I want to try different things when I'm writing. I don't want to just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So that my latest book for middle grade readers is a novel in verse, which is not something I ever thought I'd do,
Right.
actually. And it's a historical novel as well.
Oh,
And the reason it ended up in verse is because it was originally in prose, and there was just so much detail because it's about a flood that happened in 1907 at a gold mine,
right.
and about a miner who got trapped underground for 9 days.
Wow.
And so there was incredible amounts of technical details and how the rescue almost didn't happen. And it just got weighted down with that. Plus, I did heaps of research into what schools were like and what the curriculum was to inform my 12-year-old protagonist going to school there. And it was just this heavy mess. And so I thought, I'm just going to try and pare it down.
Yep.
And I put it down and it became a verse novel, which I just sent a couple of chapters to Kate Sutherland, the editor, going, "What do you reckon?" She was like, "Yeah, keep doing that." So
Yeah.
yeah, it was an accidental verse novel. But I like, every book's got its own audience, and
Mm.
I've written from everything from I've written a picture book now, again,
Yeah.
first, probably last. And I like the challenge of thinking what a kid's gonna like, or
Mm.
what's a 12-year-old gonna like, or and of course you never exactly know, but you kind of have to have your idealized reader or readers in mind, I
Yeah.
think, especially when you're writing for younger people. And I
Yeah.
just love that challenge. But
Yeah.
it's a challenge every single time. It gets easier or clearer. I don't think there's any magic formula. Maybe some other people have one. But yeah, to me, it's just about trying to challenge myself as a writer and to
Yeah.
try and engage the audience. That's kind of it.
Yeah. So any more adult novels coming your way or anything like that? Now you've done the memoir
I,
sort of for older people, although that's a different genre in itself.
yeah, it is. I look, not so far. I'm working on a historical non-fiction, but it's early days and it's sort of not I'm the writer
Mm.
on it, but it's not my project
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So, and I'm not sure whether that's going to be aimed at high school or general readership or how that's going to go yet. So it's still very early days, but yeah, something completely different.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Oh, no, that's great. Well, for our writers who are listening, who are navigating their own hybrid careers, balancing traditional recognition, digital platforms, other genres, personal creative goals, do you have any advice you would like to offer them from your own author adventure, whether it's from publishing or writing for different age groups or just anything in general?
I love your term author adventure. I think that frames it
I
really
just hate the
nicely
word
because
journey. It
sometimes
does my nutting. I'm just like,
Yeah, but
journey. It's like,
I
oh.
like an adventure, but sometimes it just feels like a roller coaster with all the blah,
Yeah, absolutely.
sudden drop.
Pack a sick
I
bag.
yeah, really. Look, I think I would just suggest to people that they go back to why they write in the first place. What is it that made them want to do this crazy thing called writing? And just to focus on that, because so much about writing and the industry you have no control over. I mean, probably hybrid authors have a bit more control than others, but even still, you can't control how people are going to
Yeah.
respond. You can't control your reviews. You can't, you can't do any of those things. But what you can do is just know why you're doing it and having that as your main focus. I've had a few, I don't know what the writing equivalent of a, nervous breakdown is, but I've had a few dark tea times of the
Another
soul going,
adventure.
you know, why do I do this to myself? To me, that's always been the thing, just coming back to the why. Why am I doing it? What is it that I want to do or achieve with this book, with this writing life, with whatever it is, and just try and meet whatever happens with grace.
Yeah, no, I love that, and that's absolutely spot on because you can just get absolutely caught up in everything, can't you? And it can just
Yeah.
be too much, and people forget why they started it in the first place. But it is refreshing to hear someone of your caliber still has a few freakouts as well
A
from the
few, yeah,
writing,
yeah. Yeah,
and you can still make it.
regularly. Yeah, it's a look, it's a tough industry. If people want an easy life,
Yeah.
being a writer is not it's not the thing to pursue. Honestly, I could think of many other things that are just
Yeah. With that as well.
just
No,
easy enough.
absolutely. Well, huge congrats on all your success to date, and especially for, the Premier's Lit Awards with the memoir. It's been absolutely fantastic chatting to you. Can you tell our audience where they can discover, everything you do on and offline?
So I've got a website. So if you just Google Julia Lawrinson, it should come up. And my Substack is called What Were You Thinking?
Yeah. When you decided to be a writer.
Yeah. And and I'm on Instagram, probably not so often. I think my Substack's my most regular kind of posting platform. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, well, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Julia, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.